For more on all this, let's bring in Louisiana Senator John Kennedy. Senator, good to see you. You can weigh in on that if you'd like. But to the point that President Biden was making when asked about the defund the police movement, where he stood on that, but he was asked more broadly where his party stood on that. And as you heard in that montage there are many Democrats who have talked about that over time. So is the GOP lying when they attack Democrats over that defund the police movement?
In my opinion, Sandra, President Biden is not telling the truth. Maybe George Washington could not tell a lie, but just about every politician since has mastered the skill. And I don't mean to be ugly, but President Biden has a PhD in it. Now, some politicians lie because it's useful. Other politicians lie because they forget.
So what specifically are you saying he's lying about, Senator?
About cutting police spending, number one. If you look at the Democratic Party platform, which he wrote, it talks extensively about reimagining the police. Among President Biden's most ardent supporters are the Democratic mayors of most large cities, New York, Chicago, LA, San Francisco, Seattle, Portland. They've all cut police spending. They've all talked about doing it. President Biden has appeared with them many times and said what a great job they're doing. He certainly hasn't discouraged them. If I watch a house burn down, don't call the police or the fire department, I think I'm responsible.
Last hour, we had Dion Joseph on. He's with the LAPD. Listen to this, Senator.
When we have politicians who throw us under the bus, who praise rioters and protesters, who vandalize and cause so much destruction, okay? When you put these criminals on a pedestal and throw us under the bus, that's what's killing our morale.
It's an amazing thing. We canvass the country every day, sir, in these big American cities, and what they're dealing with is something they have not seen in decades. No, I know you know that. Back to the president. He was asked last summer if he supported taking money away from police departments. He said yes, absolutely, that he agreed we can redirect some of the police funding. That's not what he said last night. He said Republicans like yourself are lying about him suggesting to defund.
Well, President Biden's not telling the truth. And that's just a fact. It's been well documented. Your show has just documented it in the last 20 minutes. The problem that President Biden has is a problem with his party. Not all Democrats, but many Democrats, the whack jobs, truly do believe in defunding the police. They think most cops are racist, apparently even the African-American cops. They think cops are guilty until proven innocent. I've said this before. They think that if a cop has to shoot a bad guy, it's the cop's fault always. But if a bad guy shoots a cop, it's the gun's fault. And the American people see that. And actions have consequences. And when they de-emphasize the importance of the police, crime rises. Duh. And that's what's been happening throughout America. And for President Biden to say, "Oh no, I'm not. I've never been a part of that." I mean, dream weaver. Let me say it again. If I watch somebody start a fire, and the house is burning down, and I don't call the fire department, I'm morally responsible. And he is, and he knows it.
Senator, we are still in the middle of a pandemic, it seems. Now the Delta variant's causing a big fear over what happens next with the coronavirus crisis. But U.S. Envoy John Kerry seems to think the priority, even though we're still battling this virus, should be climate change. Listen.
The climate crisis, my friends, is the test of our times. We don't have the luxury of waiting until COVID is vanquished to take up the climate challenge.
Should that be the priority, Senator?
It's not our top priority. Our top priority right now is the pandemic, and it's getting people back to work. Look, CO2 it's a greenhouse gas. I mean, as you know, it traps heat. So does water vapor. The problem in reducing CO2 is twofold. Number one, the zealots, and number two, China. we've got a lot of zealots, an uncharitable person might call them whack jobs, who don't see climate change as a discrete scientific problem. They see it as a religion based on their feelings, and they want to get rid of free enterprise and turn the world upside down. The second problem is that we have reduced our CO2 emissions in America. Since 2005, we've reduced them about 14%. China, in that period of time, has increased theirs about 70%. There aren't boundaries in the atmosphere. There aren't boundaries in space. If we reduce our CO2 emissions and China raises their 70% and we wreck our economy to do it and China grows stronger as a result, who comes out the winner here? Not the environment and not the United States.
Senator, thank you for your time. John
Thanks,
Kennedy,
guys.
Republican from Louisiana. More to discuss. We shall next time.
Thank you, Senator.
Sir.